A lot of the headlines you will see today is all about James Maddison and what a start he's made to life at Spurs. He has slotted in perfectly.
Yeah, when when you move to a new club, a new environment and players you meet, and you know a number of them anyway. And also the team of Tottenham has changed. I mean, when I look at the lineup now, they're really unrecognisable from the goalkeeper. Obviously, no Lloris there, now Vicario's there. Got Porro at right back. You've got Romero, who has been there a while. Van der Ven there. Udugi. This is a completely new back four. And Maddison's come into this team. Maddison's as good a number 10 as there is. I think if you was with England and you looked at a number 10, I mean, look, England have got a luxury of talent. You look at what Bellingham's doing at Real Madrid and you go, wow. And we know his talents in forward positions, but then, you sort of Declan Rice role and you look at Maddison, he plays that in between players and that 10 role as good as anyone in the Premier League. He loves getting the ball on the turn and seeing that little intricate pass, and he also can get, chipping with a number of goals. He's a very clever footballer. He's not blessed with loads of pace, but he's sharp. And he actually, like you said, he's joined the club and he's like a breath of fresh air to them.
Well, he's already had 2 assists. Now he's got on the score sheet as well. He opened the scoring at Bournemouth yesterday, timed his run to perfection. When another player we've talked about already for Spurs who's done brilliantly so far, Yves Bissouma, he linked up with Pape Sarr, and then they were able to play in Maddison for that opening goal, and then Dejan Kulusevski in the second half scored the second. Richarlison is also another one of those players that's making the headlines for the wrong reasons, unfortunately. Yeah. We talk about how Maddison has settled in brilliantly at Spurs already. Richarlison just cannot bag a goal when it comes to playing for Spurs, and one Premier League goal since his move last season. Is it just unlucky? Is he just not good enough? What's going on?
No, well, he's proved he's good enough because of what he's done for Brazil and Everton. He's shown that he's good enough. He's a consequence sometimes of a player that goes to a club, doesn't play enough football, probably had his head turned when Spurs came in and he was leaving to go to a new environment. Harry Kane was always playing second fiddle, and he feels like he always feels to me, I don't know him, but his body language always made me feel like he's got the world on his shoulders. He's got that sort of attitude, and he done brilliantly well keeping Everton up. His goals at the very end of the season that kept Everton up, when he signed for Spurs that summer, just before that season, he played a big part at Everton. There was an incident yesterday, Nat, when he tried on the ball. And I remember thinking, my first experience, because I don't remember him playing. I obviously haven't seen him all through his career, but I've seen a lot of him. But my first bad time in football came when I joined Celtic, which was a really bad time. I felt so out of sorts and never got going and really struggled to settle in at Celtic and played poorly. And I feel for Richarlison because I've been there. He needs a goal badly, and he needs to find a part of this in this team. He needs to find where, look, they've won the game, and I'm sure the manager would be like, you've done a lot of good things, but he was subbed again after 50-odd minutes, in the game. He needs to get going because it's a bit like, I'm sure we're going to talk Arsenal. Havertz hasn't settled in at Arsenal. Yeah, he was poor yesterday for Arsenal. You've got to settle in. I remember talking about with Chrissy Wilder at Sheffield United about Ramsdale as a goalkeeper. And he said he didn't make big saves early on. So a goalkeeper needs to make big saves. Centre forward needs to get goals straight away. And the longer it goes, the harder it gets in some ways.
And it's not like Richarlison isn't in the right place. It's just you mentioned trod on the ball. There were occasions where you felt like the ball just got trapped.
In between his legs.
He could not get the ball out from under his feet.
Header at a far post as well, where, normally you think he's going... And okay, he was quite tight because the defender sort of got in his way. And I felt, well, that's a little bit harsh on him. But again, chances are coming... You're not taking them. He needs to get a little bit on a run.
But also, is it hard? You've already mentioned the fact he played understudy to Harry Kane. Now he's been given his chance, but everyone's still talking about, well, they still need a striker. It's as though everyone's just, obviously, and I kind of understand it because he's not got off to a great start at Spurs. But is that all going to be playing on his mind as well? That I've not started well. This is my chance. But everyone keeps talking about, well, who was Spurs going to bring in to replace Harry Kane? It's as though he's already been dismissed.
Yeah. Well, what I would say to that, Nat, and this is what Graham Taylor said to me one day when I was at Villa, when he was my manager, big clubs don't wait. They can't wait too long. Yeah. Because managers get sacked. The club always has to move forward. And, that's the environment of a big club where you go... You got to hit the ground running. You know, if you're at Chelsea, if you're at Manchester United, and you know all these clubs, loads of them. You look at Nunes. You know, what has Nunes at Liverpool done? Really, he's found it very difficult to settle in at Liverpool and look like a certainty. Paid 80-odd million for him. He hasn't got going. Timo Werner never got going at Chelsea and was given loads of chances. Yeah. So there's a number of strikers, you know, and I've spoken about my own career of not getting going at a certain club. Well, I'm looking at Richarlison. Is Tottenham can only wait so long.
Weekend Sports Breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Sunday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.